Fandom Fridays, read by a guy doing a Paul Scribbler impersonation. Well, hello everybody. I am not Scribbler. Sorry, but I'm not. I don't have that really nice, sweet British voice that she does. But I do have my own whimsical voices, and I do have my own show. So, everybody, welcome back. Today, for our little Halloween month extravaganza, I decided to look up to one of the girls that helped inspire me to do this job, Scribbler, along with Lost Narrator, Visual Pony, etc., etc. But I was just wondering, what type of fake did she do? And hopefully she did some Buffy stuff. Well, I looked and, I found her old stuff. And, look, she did Sat Down, which I love. And trust me, I'm doing an episode on that. And Buffy. Yes, she apparently has done a couple of Buffy crossovers. And they both are pretty short. But, short doesn't hide much, and of course, we're all curious as to how we got started. Well, with that being said, join us as the Treeberry Memorial Library Halloween section presents to you Buffy Crossovers. Story 1, Like Cat and Dog, by Scribbler. There were things in life Oz had never expected, being a werewolf topping the list. But getting zapped into an alternate dimension where humanoid cats ruled the earth was definitely up there. He stared at this one, which looked like his Aunt Ethel's mangy old tomcat Fluffles, and wondered if there were humanoid dogs anywhere where he might get on with Bear.
Hey, Razor! Come on, Razor! Blade, what's going on down there?
The cat's head tapped hurt with a hard, edgy, but tender voice. He tapped on one side and answered to a small microphone on the same side of the helmet. T-Bone, this is Razor. I'm not sure what the heck's going on. I picked up on the source of that strange energy distortion and, well, it's an alien life form.
Alien life form? That's a new one. Actually, very much from Earth, just not this one. What was that?
The cat looked at Oz and narrowed his eyes through the mask across the upper half of his face.
Calling you back in a second with more info, buddy. Razor out.
He then turned to face Oz fully, crossing his arms and leveling a challenging look at him.
You seem to know what's going on here. Start talking.
Oz shrugged. Not much to tell. Pretty easy to figure out this world's an alternate one. Slizzes like this happen all the time. Get used to it after a while. He was judicious in his use of pronouns. More than once he had gotten through entire days without even using one. Probably something to do with this magical doohickey here. He held up what looked like a mace, covered in spikes, that flashed alternately yellow, green, and purple.
Other than that,
no skill, but
I guess the English on your planet's a little different than ours.
World, dude. Different dimension, not planet. Understanding smoothed out a few rough edges around the cat's mouth.
Alternate dimensions. Now there's something I'm all too familiar with.
There was something in his voice that made Oz wince. Evil twin?
How did you know?
Again, get used to seeing that expression after a while. Luckily, never met an evil version of me, but my girlfriend, not so much. Oz shook his head at the memory of evil vampire Willow and her corset. Okay, maybe not the corset, but the whole biting thing really got in the way of a healthy and loving relationship, even more than the werewolf thing. Might be there's some cat version of me hanging around the world someplace. Hope he's not evil. The cat tipped his head to one side, assessing Oz against unknown criteria. He stuck out a paw, hand, thing with fingers.
The name's Razor, and you are?
Oz shook his hand. Good grip. Not like it to cost, though. Oz, got much magic in this world?
A little. Why?
You didn't blink when I showed you the doohickey. He held it up for emphasis. It threw off a gentle heat as it slew from lemon to sunflower. Tails hadn't been too clear about what it was meant to do, only that it was bad
and not to be touched.
But what else Oz could have done when it was hurtling toward Willow, and he was the only one close enough to save her? He'd do anything for Willow, even take a sorcerer in a cat world, or whatever this place was. Razor eyed the doohickey warily.
Right. Is this thing safe?
No clue. Save her with me and then in the hands of some evil moron, though. I'll keep a hold of it so it doesn't do a zappy routine on you. Muchas gracias for the savage, by the way.
Heh, don't mention it. Dark Cat is a miserable hobo. Barrel, though. What, have a partner?
He seemed to be almost talking to himself for a second.
To have your back in a crisis? Except when he's 100 feet above your head, and the bad guy's pride laser is only by 3. Cat saved my bacon by landing on Dark Cat's head and knocking him out.
Yeah, about that. Could I get a set of pants that don't have a huge rip that shows my undies? Kind of sick of the whole standing against the wall routine.
When my partner gets here, we'll see what we can do. About that, about getting you home, how's big your tail?
About so-so. Only 3 nights of every month, dude.
Excuse me?
I sighed. It was laid back to the point of almost being horizontal. But this was going to get complicated in ways that he couldn't begin to predict. Wait a sec. That was it? Next story. Hero. By Scribbler. You're the hero we've been waiting for. You have done the impossible. Buffy brought the broken branch up into her opponent's ribcage, forcing it in so hard it went straight through and burst out the other side. The bear on its back, screaming, before exploding to dust. She kept hold of the impromptu stake so it didn't disappear, using the momentum of her swing to flick it across the clearing. It punched into the heart of the badger trying to run away. It was dust before it hit the ground. She pushed hair from her eyes and wished for all her heart for a scrunchie. Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a hairbrush or something, would you? You. The kid she saved looked at her, wide-eyed. Yep, me. I also answered to Buffy, though I've been known to turn around when people shout duck and cover. She stretched out a hand. The kid stared at it like it might sprout teeth, and also tried to take a chunk out of his throat. He was bleeding, though not badly. Buffy's tone turned gentle. Those were your first vamps, weren't they? Vamps? Vampires. Vampires really exist? She frowned. I thought this part of the forest was all fate with magic. You'd never heard of vampires? We... The kid's chest went out like a hummingbird's. You killed them. Kind of the job description. I'm a vampire slayer, last of the breed, as it happens. There used to be a whole bunch of slayers in the old days, Giles once told her. They weren't a tribe, but they came together sometimes to fight evil and save the world and junk. However, as magic was replaced by tech, those who fought against the darkness fell to it, fading out like the afternoons of a spell. Buffy was kind of proud to belong to their legacy, but it did mean she had a lot of ground to cover to pick up the slack of her forebears, and it led a life where home was mostly just a word in the dictionary. I guess you could call me the Slayer. My ego has no problem being stroked. She fired off her 1,000-gigawatt smile. That usually helped put the yokels at ease. What do you want? She sighed. I'm looking for some chick called Sally Acorn. The kid's eyes were as wide as new moons. Why? You know her? I never said that. Relax. I'm one of the good guys. He squinted at her, showing a smirk or grit as he mirrored. This was deep in Robotnik territory. Anyone living here was either strong or stupid. Remember who saved your life. Does that sound like something an enemy would do? Look, all flesh, blood, and fur. No robotic fits. Come on, kid, cut me some slack. I walked all the way from the South Continent to bring her a message. Buffy thought of the tightly wrapped scroll in her backpack. Giles was very empathetic about the only one who could open it, and that Buffy could help that person perform whatever tasks were written inside. Apparently, there was some ancient prophecy. She was thoroughly sick of those since they almost left her coughing up hairballs or licking goo off her tail. But then again, they came with the Slayer turf. About some magical stones and a quest or something. She stopped listening after the third wherewithal. Well, I guess it'd be okay for you to take her to her, since you saved my life and everything. The kid stood up, but cried out. Buffy immediately grabbed him before he could collapse. You okay? Maybe those vamps did more damage than she thought. They were both on top of the kid once he entered stage left. Vampire activity in this area was supposed to be nil, so she could only presume that they were part of the pack she decimated outside old Mobotovia. They must have followed her. My tail. He had 2 of them. Buffy did a double take, but she'd seen stranger things. One was obviously broken in a couple of places, and giving him enough pain to well tears in the corner of his eyes. He refused to let them fall, however, and her estimation of him went up another notch. He couldn't be more than 10 or 11 winters old. but he gritted his teeth and looked at her with determination of someone more talented than his years. You had to wear a blindfold before I could take you anywhere. Buffy rolled her eyes. The things she did for this job. Still, it was just a blindfold. Her natural feline reflexes were enhanced along with her other senses due to Slayer blood. See, oh my gosh, Buffy's a blonde-headed cat lady here? I don't know what to scream more, folks. The fact that Buffy is a cat girl? Or the fact that she isn't in human mode in this fic? Well, she could find her way through an old abandoned subway tunnel covered in smashed trains with just her whiskers. Plus, her right hook had a way of miraculously finding a jaw when she threw it. Losing her sight didn't mean she couldn't defend herself. The kid undid his bandana and tied it carefully around her eyes. Is that too tight? Nope. Hey, what's your name? I'd like to know the names of the creatures I saved. He hesitated. It's Tails. Cool. Lead on, Tails. The show's been on the road for a while now, and it's dying for a hot bath and a meal that doesn't involve dried food. Finn. No, what? No. That's not the end. There's more to it than that, right? I mean, let me just check the chapter scroll and... Nope. That's the end. It really is the bloody end of the fit. Okay. Let me get some things out here. For our first story, it was excellent. Oz had some really excellent character moments. So did T-Bone and Razor. And everybody was in character. It didn't resort to a fight. And the idea that Dark Cat got squished by Oz was kind of hilarious. The problem was, it was too short. I mean, there was a nice little quest going on here, and I would have loved to have seen where she was going to go with this. How was Oz going to get his way home, and how was he going to react seeing so many things? Then again, I also wonder how he would react to War on the Metallic Cats. But, I'm okay. Just a little short meeting between friends. The second fic, however... It's too bloody short! Scribbler, you have done some excellent work so far in the pony fandom with your narration, which I love you for. And you also did some excellent pony fics. I mean, I personally actually have 5 things that's never happened to Twilight Sparkle saved up on my faves. And I love reading it. So trust me when I say that if you had continued with this Buffy thing, I would love it. I mean, let's get off with the basics. Buffy's perfectly in character, even as cat mode. Tails is in character as being a little kid. The story doesn't feel like it's trying to say Buffy is better than Sonic in any way, which is always great for a crossover, because you're not supposed to do that. Also, it doesn't require Buffy being human mode, which, along with human and Equestria stories, I also have a thing about human in Sonic fics, which is probably why I stay away from Sonic 2006. And also try to explain away that Stasis Square thing. Unless they're overlanders, I try to stay away. Unless they're overlanders or Robotnik, I try to stay away from humans entering the Sonic World stories. But here we have, but she's cat mode. And we have Giles, who I want to know what he is. And it was kind of cute seeing Buffy save Tails and also show off vampires. The problem is... Oh, and it also links beautifully to the plot of the Magic Stones. You know, the Time Stones legend that Sonic and Sally will have to go on in order to go back in time, and that excellent two-part that I really, really, really love. But here's my problem. It's only one chapter. Only one short chapter. And you have just given me about 1,000,000,001 questions about this. I mean, let's start off with the basics. 1. What is Giles like? What is Giles in this universe? 2. What is Spike, Willow, Xander, Aya, Tara, Dawn? Well, I can imagine Dawn is a little kitten, but still, Angel. What about the Master? No, no. Was there a Master in this universe? Because Buffy didn't seem like she mentioned that, nor did she mention any of her friends. And since Robotnik had taken over the entire planet, I could only assume that high school wasn't available. So, are her friends still around? Are they still walking about? What are they doing? What's Xander doing? What about Cordelia? Is Angel still a vampire? Does Spike still look awesome? You've basically given me a premise of Buffy exists and vampires exist in the Sonic world. And apparently Slayers were not just a one-time thing. They used to be a whole group and have disappeared, and now there's only like one once in a round. So, and now Buffy is a traveler hunter, and Giles is more than just her watcher. He's like this agent guy that sends her off on missions. Here we go, Buffy. Deliver this to Princess Sally. I've got to know more. What's going on? Where are the others? What exists? How does this world's work? What else is Buffy doing? Is Buffy going to have a match with Donovan? Oh, I'm sorry, I mixed my fanfics there. Donovan's an OC from Robert Brown and Francis Talbot. Long story. What else is there to this world? I've got to know, Scribbler. You've given me a beautiful premise. I've got to know, man. But still, if these fics are any indication, when I finally do a fanfic centered around the Satam world, and yes, she's got some pretty awesome Satam fics, including some with Knuckles, I think I'm going to be pleasantly enjoyable. Once again, this is why fanfiction.net needs something like a freaking feature box or a popular stories list or something. Because when I was or a better use of its tags or a better use of its categorizations, because if I had known about some of the Sonic fics that she had posted up, I probably wouldn't have had to wait 13 years before getting back into the fanfiction scene. But still, those two fun little adventures featuring our Slayer. But that wasn't enough for me. I need another story. I need some more Buffy stories. I wonder if there's another good Buffy and Sailor Moon crossover. I mean, next week is the end of Halloween. I'll see whatever Buffy fix I can find. So I'll see you next time, lovely and indescribable awesome readers.